All right, welcome to Dual Redundancy, the only podcast where you can hear all latest in television and entertainment news with too many hosts with exactly the same opinions. I'm one of those hosts, David Allen, and another one is
John Berwick, and a third one is
Kyle Bridger. I will say that I am the Falcon to John's Winter Soldier to Dave's new Captain America. Dun da da da! You have the shield now, big boy.
So what am I like? I'm like the Walmart, the discount version. I saw those memes. People were really hammering it up for the new Captain America there. Wyatt Russell is that Captain America. We'll talk about it. We'll break it all down. We'll spoil the premiere, which came out a week or so ago. You've had plenty of time to catch up on this point. But what we'll do now first is this first segment. And John, just help me out. What is it?
in and out points.
In or the out. In or the out. In, out, in, out, in, out, in or the out.
Yes, it is. It is in and out points. Let's see. Less than 2 weeks ago, it was reported that the Oscars, which will be held at the Los Angeles Union Station this year, have decided to ban Zoom. You must be present at the ceremony to accept their honors this year, which will have only the presenters, the nominees, and one guest each, because we're still living with this COVID pandemic. Just a couple weeks away from the Oscars. Kyle, what do you think about this to ban Zoom?
I think it's pretty silly. So, I mean, I think you're forcing people to go to a situation that they might not want to be in. That seems kind of messed up to me. I mean, and it's not as exciting. That's probably what they're worried about, over Zoom. But other award shows have already done it. Then, it might not have the same pizzazz, but if we're worried about, the glorification of an award show, then you all have to be present for it rather than the safety of the participants, or it just seems kind of odd to me. But, I don't know. I guess it's their say, their rules, whatever they want to do.
Yeah, it's just guys, you know what? This year, just mark it as a loss. I mean,
yeah,
just deal with it. Like we're almost over the hurdle. Next year, hopefully everything will be okay. Just this year, it's the asterisk Zoom Oscars. Just deal with it. Yeah, so many other award shows have done it, but yeah, they just don't want to repeat the problems from the Golden Globes, which we discussed in detail. And I think they're trying anything to save the ratings on these things. The ratings are just tanking. It was like over 60% drop at the Golden Globes. I think people are just tired of seeing people on Zoom outside of the three of us on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. I mean, it's just people are sick of it. They want to see these stars interact. But guess what? Are they going to be able to interact when they are at this no Zoom Oscars? Or are they going to be able to mingle, less than 6 feet apart?
Yeah.
Are we going to be able to see who they are with the masks on?
You can't really have an Oscar selfie moment when they can't be next to each other.
Exactly. You're not going to get that reaction with the mask on. You can't get it. You can't get it. Let's see here. In a letter to attendees, they said, quote, "For those of you unable to attend because of scheduling or continued uneasiness about traveling, we want you to know there will not be an option to Zoom in for the show. We are going to great lengths to provide a safe and enjoyable evening for all of you in person, as well as for the millions of film fans around the world. And we feel that the virtual thing will diminish those efforts." John, any thoughts on this statement from the Oscars?
I don't see how you're going to be able to do this. You're going to have so many people who are traveling with restrictions on travel and all this, and as far as I know, there's no really good, accurate instant test. So are you going to have people take a test and quarantine, or are they going to just say, yeah, I'm clean, and then walk in and whoops, somebody was sick? I don't know. I don't see how it's going to be logistically possible to do what they're saying in an event like this?
Yeah. Can you imagine if one person has it at the Oscars and then spreads it to everybody, and then all these Hollywood productions for like the next whatever many months are just closed?
Yeah. And we're also talking about there's also international international
nominees.
People, nominees up. So this could be like, I mean, I don't know what the latest positivity rates or any of that, but I still think Los Angeles County is going through its own kind of situation. And, then we're having a super spreader event. Like how many can the entire theater hold? Are they just, is it outside? What is the situation?
Yeah. Why aren't they just doing it at the Hollywood Bowl? Like,
yeah.
But, like everything you were saying, Kyle, about the international nominees, that is causing some headaches and backlash. Many nominees are from international locations. I mean, Variety had a list of people. I mean, of possible no-shows. You got the directors of Promising Young Woman, Nomadland. They might not be able to come. Stars like Carey Mulligan, Sacha Baron Cohen, Anthony Hopkins, Vanessa Kirby, many, many more. It's like, I mean, do you really want Anthony Hopkins to risk his life on a flight to Los Angeles, and then also because he's in like the older demographic, like we're gonna lose Anthony Hopkins to show up for your stupid statue, just even though he won't win it, he'll just be there nominated?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. Could you imagine Anthony Hopkins dying because he was forced to come to an Oscar ceremony because he wouldn't have it allow Zoom? I mean, you don't even. I know it becomes a question of like equity and equality when you might start doing certain people over Zoom, but why not just highlight, why not allow everyone to join on Zoom, but then only highlight the few that need to be highlighted at a certain time? I don't see what the problem with that is.
Yeah. Just do it in batches. It's just, I just think a lot of people are just not going to show up. And is that going to make your ratings better? Like,
that they're,
all these pictures across, and it's like, oh, look, one person in the category decided to show up, and guess what? You didn't win. So there's now no speech, and we're just going to yada, yada. It's like, you're not going to have any moments because no one's going to be there.
Yeah. And I'm thinking like, if you're not allowing them to come in on Zoom, if this was like Oscars for comedians, it would be like gold, because you'd have all these people going like Instagram live or all these being like, I'm watching myself on the screen, but I'm not allowed to be a part of it. Like I'm nominated. And you know how that's going to look if the first female female director, and then you're not going to allow them to be there if they're not, it's just wild, crazy
Speaking
stuff.
of, Promising Young Woman's Emerald Fennell, the director of that film, had a statement, said the idea of missing it is just so awful, and I can't bear to think about it. Obviously, it's whatever is safe and allowed, but I'm not going to break the law by swimming the Atlantic, though I would if I had the time and the core strength. Because in London, there's a near $7,000 fine imposed for anyone traveling without reason, unless it's like essential work travel or something. And it's really the Oscars essential work. No, but that it just doesn't stop there, because there's so many more things with this. I mean, you have publicists and studios having to, like, are we going to foot the bill for hotels? Because these international folks, they have to quarantine for 2 weeks. And they're not going to stay at the Holiday Inn. They're going to stay at something fancy. And plus, these attendees are going to be pulled from other projects for, well, I guess close to a month, because they'll have to quarantine here for 2 weeks, then quarantine at their home location for 2 weeks. For the entire month, we're going to shut down a film.
That's assuming they don't get sick.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of this, could be the Oscars saying we have all these protocols in place, but the reality is much different. And they just assume that when they go back to a production, they're going to be on the set anyways and defying these kind of rules. But when you make it public like this, when you're like, we even did it with the SNL cast. It's like, wait, so you flew from there to there and you're there in 2 days or 1 day? How does that work? Like,
Yeah, we're
so
seeing
when
on camera. We can do the math.
Yeah, so when it's more public, it's like, all right, so when we see, one of these directors that had to travel from afar and then he's on set tomorrow, that's going to be a big, what's going on here?
Yeah. Well, yesterday it was actually announced that the Academy will loosen their kind of tight rules on this. All nominees have been contacted directly and were invited to participate in a Zoom conversation with producers, which took place today.
Oh, they'll Zoom for that, but they won't Zoom for that.
The irony on that they'll do a Zoom for this meeting. But all this stuff came out like just a couple hours ago from this meeting. So here's some new things that were just announced that the Academy is going to do after the backlash over this. They're creating hubs, different ceremonies in different locations here in London, in Paris, to help nominees participate in person. They don't have the venues yet because deals are still being worked out, but there's going to be different. You're going to have London, you're going to have Paris. Obviously, you're going to have Union Station in Los Angeles. So they can all congregate in these different locations.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have a state-of-the-art testing facility in Los Angeles for those who are coming that is just for the Academy Award participants. Nominees will be rotated out throughout the evening so they don't exceed the limit. So maybe, whatever, the first 4 awards, supporting nominations or whatever, they'll be seated first. And then when they're done, it's like, all right, you guys get out of here. All right, the next batch of people, who are you guys? Okay, you come and sit in these seats now. We'll disinfect in between.
Yeah. I want to sit in the airspace that somebody else has been breathing in for 20 minutes.
Why? I know. I was just thinking about that. But also, this seems like way, way more work than just having people dress up, Zoom in. Find a way to make it more creative.
The Emmys did it. Like, that was funny with the quarantine suits and the passing of the statues. And
yeah. It's just find a way to creatively do it. But it doesn't seem like, I don't know, they want to take the time to kind of think about that kind of situation.
Why can't they figure out who is gonna who the top 3 or whoever's likely to win? Send a team of 2 out to whoever they are with a camera rig and a lock statue, whatever, and have a camera rig set up in their house, and they can hang outside in the quarantine suit, blah blah blah. Have that that network feed in, and you're ingesting a whole bunch of network feeds, but that's the same as Zoom. It's doable.
The Emmys pretty much did that. They sent all this equipment out to all the nominees, had them set it up, and there you go. And there's actually less nominees for the Oscars than that as well. And it's just the amount of money that they're now adding to spend on this. The ratings are going to be down. They're going to be down. Mm-hmm. So why are you spending more money to just try to make them tweak up a little bit? It's a sunk cost. You're not going to get to that level this year. Kind of maybe do a scaled back version. The SAG Awards are doing that. They're doing like a virtual with portions taped. You do a scaled back version, save your money, and then next year go all out, make it a big fireworks spectacular. It's just
especially and we're talking about them spending what seems like more money for just an incremental increase or saving the situation. We're also talking about a batch of films that is by all accounts underperforming than previous years. I mean, it's a down year in general just because it's been a weird year. It's like, what does have the hype? What are the good films? So I think this one they'll never admit that this isn't probably the best batch of, pictures out there, but that's the reality of the situation. And they might take an L and just include as many people as you can and then move along and try and do something different. Like you said, Dave. Yeah,
because we're already like 2 years into what would be this next season. We're late this year.
Yeah, it's too much. Just get it. Just move on. Yeah. And
the one last thing I'll bring up before we move on is it just irked me so much. Where one person asked at the end of the Zoom conference call, "So will we be wearing masks the whole time, even when we're on stage?" And all they said was, "Bring a mask. It's still in play." Like, what's still in play? The virus? Yeah, it's in play. Like, what are we doing? Yeah, I don't know. When you guys are seated all together, Yeah, we might skip the mask. What is that show on television if you guys are all just going to be in a crowded space together in indoors?
Yeah.
We're stars. We don't need masks. But
yeah.
All right. That's enough of the Oscars. We'll of course talk about them in a few weeks when we're predicting them. But we have this next in and out point. Could get long here, so we'll try to keep it short and sweet. But something's been taking over the digital world recently, and I just don't get it. And I'm gonna need your help, especially from you, John. I think we're talking about NFTs. Is it non-fungible tokens? Am I saying that right?
I think that's correct. Yeah.
So NFTs, which I had to look up, a unit of data on a digital ledger called a blockchain, where each NFT can represent a unique digital item, and thus they are not interchangeable. They can represent digital files like art, audio, videos, items in video games, stuff like that. But John, am I getting that right? Is there anything else you could break it down with NFTs?
Yeah. This gets really complex, and I don't want to be saying I'm an expert, so some of this may be very glossed over for the brevity of it. But basically, to understand it, you kind of have to understand a cryptocurrency. Like if you have a Bitcoin, that cost of that Bitcoin is the same as every other Bitcoin. So if I give you a Bitcoin and you give me a Bitcoin, we're equal. But with these tokens, they represent something, say an image or something else. So I could trade you one, but it's not going to be worth the same as every other token. So your token of the video you posted to Twitter might be worth less than my token of an image I posted to Twitter, just because of how many likes it has or whatever intrinsic value people give it. So that's what they mean by non-fungible. And I believe this whole thing with the blockchain is it's providing machines calculations to crunch. That's kind of, in a nutshell, what cryptocurrencies are. You do the work by crunching these calculations, and you may get a piece of cryptocurrency, whatever it is. And so I believe this is done to provide more data to crunch for those machines, A, and B, an item of value, or an item of value that people can have to trade and all that, and the trading of that then provides more calculations to crunch, because you're sending that money and that data, and people check it and move it by doing more calculations. Every trade of Bitcoin, other people are checking and validating and doing all that, which is how they're mining more. It's very
So is it
weird.
is it less of a copyright but more of a currency, these tokens, I guess?
Yeah, the token gives you the right to it, but I mean, in theory, anything on Twitter I can go and make mine by saying
that's
it's
the
mine.
Thing
so
I don't get.
yeah,
Where
so it's not.
I could still post it on Twitter. I bought this GIF. Only I can use this GIF. Well, no, anyone can use it, right?
And it doesn't give you copyright. It gives you, I believe, in that ecosystem of tokens the right to trade it, but it doesn't necessarily mean you own copyright, because you can post that on NBC's news, highlight or whatever that they're posting. So it's really weird, and there's a lot of impacts that people don't see, like to the environment, because all these machines that are doing all these calculations take an enormous amount of electricity, a huge amount of electricity. I think they estimated it was more electricity than Venezuela's using right now, or something crazy. It's an enormous amount of electricity, and it's causing a lot of pollution, and the individual returns to people might only be marginally higher than the cost of electricity. So you're kind of, in some cases, you could be spinning your wheel to make almost no money, but create a lot of pollution, and between the rights and the environmental impact, it's getting a lot of people upset, which I think is a valid thing to be feeling about it. But it's a very weird, interesting idea, but it doesn't. I don't think it does well. It's really kind of. It feels like it's one of those things where a couple people are gonna make a lot of money, and the rest of the people are just gonna be like dead in the water, just not doing anything.
So. But what I'm trying to understand is, so they're encrypted or whatever a certain way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what gives it the value that it's
it has some
a certain way.
Yeah, it's either encrypted or has some kind of chain
coding
or something
or whatever.
Yeah.
So going back to, anybody could tweet this thing out. So if somebody had a tweet and it was that specific one and it was encrypted or whatever, the data was a certain way, If somebody tried to duplicate it, almost like duplicating a painting, you could say, no, I have the original because it looks like this encryption rather than your fake or cheap. Almost like the knockoff versus the designer.
I get what you're saying. I don't know because I believe that encryption and that thing only exists in the world of these tokens. Like I said, it's separate from copyright. So you can easily take that picture that somebody, NFT'd and post it, and there's really nothing stopping anybody from doing that except for somebody saying that's mine, which isn't really theirs. I don't. It's
sounds confusing.
It is confusing, and it doesn't make sense. And a lot of people who create art on Twitter are upset because people are claiming their items as theirs, but it's not. And it's really a big mess, and there's no
huge wormhole going down that with everything on the internet. Like after the fact to now be like, oh yeah, I own that. It's like it's on the internet. Everyone owns it in a way.
Yeah.
We're not gonna figure out NFTs tonight, but we will talk about two that are up for sale. Nathan Apodeka, I believe, is how you say it, and he is selling a very special NFT that he was involved in because it's a viral video. That's how he got his claim to fame when he posted a TikTok of himself skateboarding to Dreams by Fleetwood Mac while drinking ocean spray. He's auctioning off the NFT of his video, the digital certificate that the possessor owns a piece of this media for around $500,000. That video, though, won't include the audio of Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. His reps, I guess, reached out to Stevie Nicks for, hey, you want to go halvesies on this? We'll split the profits. No. So who's in for $500,000 of this? John, you in?
No, it's on my hard drive right now. I don't need to buy it. I'm putting it on the internet. I'm going to get sued.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, can't I just access this whenever I want?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're showing it right now, John. Are we going to get in trouble? We didn't spend $500,000 on it. I don't know. Yeah, I guess.
But again, it's not copyright, right?
It's not a copyright ownership.
So we're all just. This is stupid.
I guess I can't sell this video, which I don't think I could anyway. But
why would you want to?
Yeah. Is there a market for this? Who's clamoring for this piece of media? I forgot all about this, and this was only a few months ago when it went viral. Let's look at this other one though. This one is dating back to 2006 actually. Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Twitter, is selling an NFT of his own, his very first tweet from March 21st, 2006. Quote, just setting up my Twitter, and Twitter is actually spelled TWTTR. So he's just setting up his Twitter, March 21st, 2006. Any guesses on what the price tag for this is? Any guesses? It was $500,000 for ocean spray, so...
maybe 100,000.
Lower? You think it's lower than the ocean spray?
I don't know. Maybe not, because Jack Dorsey. So maybe $1 million.
A little higher. 2.5 million. It's going for right now. That's the highest bid so far from the CEO of Bridge Oracle. 2.5 million for the very first tweet.
I just don't get it. When I can access it, I can go on Jack Dorsey's Twitter and click on it. What's the thing?
And does this person, the CEO that's buying it, really have it? Because at the end of the day, Jack owns Twitter.
Yeah.
So the medium that this tweet is in, somebody else owns it.
This sounds insane to me. And it probably sounds more insane to me because I have no idea how it works. Yeah. And people that know how it works are like, you guys are idiots, or screaming at their computers like, this is what it is. I have no idea what's happening. It seems silly to be spending money on things that you can access at any time, really. Because if it's still in the digital world, it can go away. Yeah. So it's not like you truly own it anyways.
Yeah, Mustix is with you. No, it's insane. Is agreeing here. And then Dark is saying in the chat, maybe explaining it. The NFT is different from monetizing the content You are monetizing the signature the content makes, which is in theory unique and can't be reproduced.
So
what makes the dollar unique? The serial number. The gold standard makes it have value, but the serial is what gives its fidelity to exist.
So yeah, so it's that encryption, that special that you can go into this is so stupid. That you could go into like the about info and be like, this is the right one.
0001 Yeah.
Why do I give a absolute any
I don't know.
Why do I care? It's
I don't
the
know.
digital world. I could access it at any time.
So I own an invalid copy of that guy on the
Yeah.
skateboard.
You own the
wrong one.
The bootleg, the market down on the street corners selling Louis Vuitton bags. That's what you
digitally
own.
identical ripoff.
Yeah, it's like, years from now, are people going to go to like the Antiques Roadshow and be like, I have this, and they look at it and it's like, oh, actually, that's the real one. We looked at the, it's like, like, okay, great.
We thought you were 1-0 off, but it turns out you were in the right code. So.
Yeah. All right. Enough of that. One last in and out point tonight. I think it's a quick one, but it's a funny one.
Boy.
Britain's The Sun reported that researchers found that the Duke of Cambridge, Prince William, is the world's sexiest bald man.
A, who was voting, and B, who's the PR person?
Yeah.
The royal family.
Yeah, this was a convenient timing on this one. Nice work, guys. He's been described sexy 17.6 million times in blogs, reports, and pages found via Google, according to a study by cosmetic surgery specialist Longavita. The internet, though, did not agree on this. They had a lot to say with this. I got to ask you guys, do you agree? Prince William, the sexiest bald man in the world?
No.
Nope.
You're looking at the sexiest bald man.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
No. But no. I mean, no way, man. What?
No,
And even
no.
you put Prince William without Prince in front of him, in front of his name, you put William on the street corner, he's getting looked by 9 out of 10 times. I'm sorry. He is not, it's not happening for him. He doesn't have the juice.
Yeah, I agree. There's something Dark said. I'm not going to repeat in the chat, but that's making me die. Sarcastic, but yeah, I don't think Dark is a fan of this either here. Other ones
say he looks like a sperm?
No. We're not gonna go into looks tonight. We're gonna be no bullying. We're just talking about the study of this. The internet named a bunch of other bald men that probably should have been in some of the top spots.
If I'm not on the bald man list, I don't know if I'm.
Let's see what the internet said. They said The Rock, Common, Patrick Stewart, Jason Statham, Vin Diesel, LL Cool J. Let's see, Kyle Bridger.
Yeah.
Wait, no. That was a mistake.
Okay.
Somebody else. But yeah, so many others that William
Kyle
should
Bridger.
be.
Different.
But the Jezebel site, which is kind of not the greatest, but I will give them credit here. They had one of the greatest headlines about this story. They said, quote, "Millions of bald men have died apparently." And then they show this article.
That's fair. That is fair.
Who else should be on this list outside of Kyle and the ones I mentioned? Is there anyone on the bald men list that should be up there?
Men. Well, there's not, a lot of bald guys don't get a lot of looks in Hollywood, you hear? I'm trying to think of. It's usually black guys can pull off the bald look pretty well. So it's got probably a lot. Was Idris Elba bald at one time? No, yeah, he always had a close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah, he is a sexy man.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be in trouble if I didn't mention my girlfriend's pick of Corey Stoll.
That is a good pick.
And we got that one in there.
That is a good pick. Yeah.
One that the internet got a special mention for. He had his own article about him. Stanley Tucci. He started trending at the same time of this article. Tucci didn't make the top 10 even of the study.
Yeah.
Let's look who did make the list. Some of these are I don't know. I wonder if it's like the are these dated, because some of these are like, well, I'll run through them here. The next one on the list under Prince William, Mike Tyson, distant second with 8.8 million.
Woo! Yeah, this study was conducted before Prince William was born. Like, we got to make sure he's the sexiest man alive when he turns whatever 40 years old.
Let's see, and then if you keep going down in the top 10 here, Jason Statham, Pitbull, Michael Jordan, Floyd Mayweather, John Travolta, Bruce Willis, and Dwayne Johnson. How is John Travolta over Dwayne Johnson? I don't get that.
Yeah, I don't get that either.
Music's no, also no, hell no. Dark mentions in the chat Terry Crews.
Yeah. Is he bald?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think he is bald. Yeah. Terry Crews.
That's to be the list of like celebrities, and there's like maybe 20 celebrities, and they just cut it in half and rearranged it wherever. Like, there's plenty of people who aren't celebrities who are bald that can pull it off. And then on top of that, like even off the top of my head, like thinking back to Dexter, like Dokes was bald.
Yeah,
he looks better than anyone in here. It's like I don't know.
Yeah, this list
so
is like
people.
very like I feel like 90s. Mike Tyson, Michael Jordan, John Travolta, Bruce Willis. It's like, what year was this study conducted?
But also, who wants a milk white, no tone?
Prince Henry that bad?
No tone. Probably some pompous jerk. Like what? Like no, it's not gonna be you, Prince William.
Maybe this study. I was gonna say maybe this is supposed to be the richest bald man. They got the text wrong.
Maybe, but maybe they were just like, we'll shelve this study when hard times come upon the royal family. And it was like 15 years ago that they did the study, and they're like, oh, we got to pull this one out.
Yeah, like when Google just started and they didn't know what Prince William looked like. And they started Googling him. Is he sexy? I don't know. All right. That is it for In and Out Points tonight. We have 2 different shows to talk about. In order to talk about them, we have to go back. So guys, send us back.
Back in time.
We're back, baby.
Gotta get back in time.
How was I there?
All right. Well,
not bad.
I think it's good. I think it was good. We'll see in the chat. The chat always is there to explain it.
Harshest critics.
Yeah, they are the real critics here. Anything. Nothing yet from the chat.
Okay.
But we'll wait. We'll find out. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier series premiere, New World Order. March 19th is when this premiere dropped, and this miniseries takes place 6 months after Avengers Endgame, as Sam Wilson teams up with Bucky Barnes, the Falcon, and Winter Soldier, respectively, in a worldwide adventure that tests their abilities and their patience. Kyle and I saw this on Disney Plus. Let's break it down, Kyle. What did you think of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
I wish I didn't. That's me. I need to preface this. I am not a huge superhero fan. I don't know the comic books. So do with this opinion what you will, okay? This episode did not have anything going on. It was just, I was begging for something to happen. And what you, Dave, accused, I thought unfairly, of WandaVision of nothing happening and then something happening right at the end. That's what I feel happened with this. It just felt like a whole lot of nothing. And then right at the end, we get this character that beats the crap out of the one guy there. But yeah, it also felt a little disjointed because obviously we have to set up 2 titular characters in different kind of worlds at the same time. So it felt disjointed that way. And I know they were trying to go like more, it felt just more heavy on the story, which didn't always hit home. It felt kind of cheesy at parts because it's hitting that like superhero thing. I just was not a fan. And I mean, Anthony Mackie's fine. The other dude is fine. But I don't really care about these characters at all to keep going, honestly.
Yeah. I'm not a Superman or superhero fan either. And this was Marvel. I feel like this was like the start of like the first 15 minutes of a Marvel film. We're setting everything up here. It's what's it, a 10-hour movie, this show. Like that's what probably the show is going to be. You got the first opening thing that it looks like it has the Marvel budget. You got the opening action sequence, skydiving, lasers, parachute flyers, all this stuff that, I mean, outside of a superhero movie, completely improbable. I mean, you cut a hole into an airplane, everyone's sucked out of that airplane. They're not going to have time for a fist fight. They're gone. But you had all this big moment, and then the rest of the episode was the drama. And I was just clarifying with Dark in the chat was Dark said this is literally the first time that I liked the drama of an action show more than the action. So they were more in on the drama of the show. They thought the action was cheesy. But yeah, I think this is just fine. It's not for me. There's a couple things that make me want to watch it, which we'll get to at the end. But I don't know. It's Marvel. I think if you like Marvel, you'll like this. But to me, at least with WandaVision, we're doing something different.
Yeah.
We're trying something new. This is just classic Avengers story style.
Yeah. It also, to me, the style, and I haven't seen all the Marvel movies. It's just starting to feel old to me, that style. And maybe I'm just getting, too fed up with it or too used to it that I want something different. But I don't know. I just could not get into this. And for the comic books, this might align really well. And for those comic book fans, I'm glad that this is what you want. But I also, again, I brought it up before and I'll bring it up again. This is like a barrier to entry. If I need that to feel like this is worth watching, it's just not. It's going to be good for the hardcore fans, good for you guys. It's going to be hard for the casual fans to get in
like us. And this is just a random aside. Maybe it's because it's been a while since I've watched these Marvel films. Do they normally kill people? Because I feel like Batman always had his rules. You don't kill anyone. You punch them pretty good and knock them out. But the Falcon was murdering people like left and right, pushing them out of planes. They're not surviving that. And maybe I'm just like suspicious now of all these superheroes because since the last Marvel movie I watched 2 seasons of The Boys. So it's like I'm feeling those characters, they're real behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what is Falcon really behind the scenes here?
Yeah.
But
also, I want to get to one storyline that for the life of me, I could not understand. And they tried to...
I think I know what it is, but yes.
Tried to kind of explain it away, and I didn't think they did a very good job, is the whole storyline with Anthony Mackie's sister and owning this
boat or fishing company.
Yeah, fishing vessel, boat, whatever, boat shop or whatever. And the whole time, I'm just thinking, doesn't this dude have all this tech? Isn't he... He's like one of the superheroes of the world. He's an Avenger. Like he's got to be rolling in cash. Somebody's got to be giving him money. But she's like, but then his sister was like, I don't want any of your like blood money or whatever. Yeah. And that somehow brings the drama along. It's like, all you have to do is it just seems so, it's just such a weird storyline because clearly this guy is someone
he has
in
connections.
This world.
He has connections.
Yeah. It's like, and they can't get a loan at the bank.
So Dark is saying the suit is a military asset, not his. But for me, he's trying to get a loan for his family. He's denied. It's like he has no savings. And at first I thought like, oh, the sister just didn't want his help. But like Stark never gave him money. It's like, oh, he was like, I'll just do it. It's a goodwill. Get out of here. Stark was a billionaire. You didn't get minimum wage. You didn't get basic benefits, dental, Vision. Like you can't get
Our IRA, start an
Come on,
IRA.
yeah, like, nothing. He was just doing this for for free all this time.
Yeah.
It's like I get it. Superheroes have goodwill, but it's like firefighters are paid, policemen are paid, teachers. They're not doing that from the goodness of their heart all the time. They need that paycheck. It's like, come on.
Can he go to USAA? He was in the armed forces. They'll give him a loan. Come on, baby.
Yeah. And also just leave the poor sister alone. She was the one running things. Well, you were off, fooling around the world. It's like she was doing her stuff here, and then you got blipped out for 5 years.
Guess what? Anthony Mackie, the Falcon, said 3 times, I'm not going to let you down. I'm going to be here for you. I'm going to be good. I'm going to be here. Which exactly lets me know that he's going to let her down. He's going to leave,
right? Because him and Falcon him and Winter Soldier are going to team up and go around the world. Like in this episode alone, we jumped around. Let's see all the places. I started naming them after a while. DC, New York City, Louisiana, Switzerland, Tunisia. They're just like jumping around. It's like, I'm going to go to all those places. Anthony Mackie's not going to be down taking care of this fishing company. And
so I was just going to change directions a little bit, going to the Winter Soldier storyline. I like the idea of him kind of going back to the guy because he feels bad. He's trying to reconcile those things that he did, but it just felt like we were taking so long to get there. But I loved the payoff was there. It's just, why did it take so long to kind of get there? For me.
I wasn't a huge fan of like the trying too hard at the artsy dramatic, like close-ups and the Mr. Robot framing where it's like his head is in the bottom of the frame and it's just like whatever. But I thought his whole storyline, especially about how his one friend, spoiler, he looks like he killed, or Winter Soldier killed his friend's son back in the day, and we see it in like a dream sequence or nightmare sequence. And so that payoff was there. I like this kind of redemption storyline. I liked all that stuff, but it did take a while to get there. And I hope we get more of it. But instead, I'm worried that these two are going to team up and they're going to head off to Switzerland to fight off the Flag Smashers, which to me is the dumbest name ever in the history of villains. I know we're getting on like the superhero stuff, and I'm sure at this point we've used so many superheroes in all these movies and all these super villains, but we really got down on the list of Flag Smashers. They're our guy here. And when the one agent goes to arrest him, it's like, did you really think this guy was going to go peacefully? He just kicked a guy literally across the street. Oh, he's just going to, you got me. It's like, come on. But I
know. There are elements of the show that I like. I can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it. It's gonna need more from me.
The one thing that I'm interested in to watch more of, and if it was just a clip reel of this, I'd be in. At the end of the episode, we get a new Captain America, and this one's more looks like just a figurehead. This looks like a con. It's not the greatest actual Captain America here. Played by Wyatt Russell. You saw all the memes this week as like the discount Captain America. I'm excited for this. If I watch anymore, it's going to be because of Wyatt Russell. I like him from past projects, Watch 49, Black Mirror, stuff like that. We got Falcon giving up the shield. They're going to put it in the Smithsonian, but of course that doesn't last long. They give it to this other guy as the figurehead for, which is kind of weird because I feel like they kept saying like, the world's back to normal. The sister kept saying the world is back to normal now. Looks like Falcon is, I don't know, out of a job. He's retired, whatever he's doing. He's now have time to be at a fishing company. So it's kind of like, well, why do we need this symbol of Captain America if everything seems to be normal for the most part in America? Everything seems to be calm, at least on paper. But
I don't know. I think I'm out on this. I just want to point out something else I noticed. So they packed up lunches. They went to town. They had their mortgage meeting and then started unpacking the food after the mortgage meeting. Now, mortgage meetings, right, last for quite a while because you're going over documents. So the food is spoiling, right? I am food truthing right now. What happened?
I didn't even put any of this together, man. You are looking at shows at a whole nother level. You take a week off and boom.
Yeah.
A whole new sense.
I was studying, dude.
All right, yeah.
Somebody in the chat, tell me what happened to that food because it is rotten and somebody got sick from it. And if it's catfish or some kind of fish, it doesn't last. It doesn't last a mortgage
that Louisiana
meeting.
sun, yeah. But yeah, maybe she has the power of dodging the health inspector, according to Dark. Maybe she's secret superhero.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Kyle's out. I'm kind of mostly out. Again, I might check in just to see what Wyatt Russell's doing because I like him and I think they might be a fun character. But for the rest of the stuff, I really don't have that much interest. But all right. Somebody said it's bloody spoiling, you donkey. Okay, got it. All right, thank you. A new name in the chat. I'm not sure how to say it, but all right. One last one last show to talk about tonight. The Great, season 1. We're catching up. We have done 1 through 3, 4 through 6. Tonight is episodes 7 through 10. The Great is a comedic drama about the rise of Catherine the Great from outsider to, I guess, spoiler, longest running female ruler in Russia's history. We're going to cover episodes 7 through 10 tonight. And it's going to be a Pox of Hope, Meatballs at the Dasha, Love Hurts, and The Beaver's Nose. All right, 4 episodes, including the finale. John, what did you think of how The Great season 1 ended?
I enjoyed it. I'm not upset I watched it. I don't know when season 2 is coming out. I don't even know if they started. I know nothing about season 2, but I think my motivation to watch season 2 is now. I don't know if I'm going to remember when it comes out. I think that's my biggest complaint is it just kind of feels like now we got some momentum, like some real momentum, and it's just like, all right, you got to wait for the next season. So that kind of is a little bit of a turnoff to me. Otherwise, yeah, it's been good. I don't have any crazy critiques or crazy platitudes to sing about it. It's just been good.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it, and I definitely agree. This last episode and the last few moments really made me. I need another one. They ended on such a moment, and we'll definitely talk about it a little bit later. That moment here, but Kyle, these last 4 episodes, what did you think of The Great?
I like it overall. I think it's a very solid show. A lot of good characters, some good performances, clever writing. I mean, I keep mentioning the writing. They do have some jokes in there that get you, and then just the way some of the actors do the line readings are really, really funny. This whole show was pushing towards the thing, and it somehow managed to give a very unlikable character some likability towards the end. And it's like, well, how are we pushing this here? Like, we need to.
I don't want to lose him.
I kind of want to. We talked about, well, when is Nicholas Holt's character going to go? And they made it through to the end of the season, and I mean, at this point, I feel like we gotta move on. We gotta get away from him. But it's such a likable character that you want him to stick around.
Yeah, because I really don't want it to be like, I don't know how many coups attempts that Catherine had. Like, is she gonna? This one fails, and there's another one later on. Like, it's gonna lose the believability after a while. It's like, okay, Peter at this point would, get rid of you. Like, at this point, like, what are you doing? So this has to be it. But it's like, is this going to be it for Nicholas Hoult? Because I don't want to say goodbye to Peter yet. I like that character. But, I mean, we can go through the characters here. Catherine, I feel like in these last 4 episodes, became like a legit worthy leader. Just we saw it. I think it was episode 7. There's a pandemic that is raging throughout all the servants there. It's smallpox. The leaders are ready to burn them all. Pretty much we're going to get rid of pox by burning them all. And pretty much we discuss what would later become a vaccine, like how vaccines work by today's standards. And they all disapprove because it's like, yeah, that's crazy talk. Why would we give a little bit of the virus to us? To, I think it makes no sense.
Yeah.
But she does it to herself anyways. She does it in front of everyone, cuts up her hand, gives it to herself, starts that going. And then we have the whole thing with the negotiation with like this Swedish leader. Ends really bad.
That was a pretty good episode.
Yeah, ends really bad between him and Peter, but then negotiates, ends the war. This helps the general signing on to help with the coup. A lot of things are in motion. Things are moving. Any thoughts on Catherine in these last 4 episodes, Kyle?
I thought, yeah. I mean, like you said, she became like a legit leader. She still made some questionable choices, but also towards the end, she gets a little damsel in distressy when it's like, oh, I can't handle a knife, and it's like all over. So that got a little, and I'll talk about the final episode where it was intriguing the entire episode, but it's also like, come on, like we gotta, like it didn't reach the conclusion that I really wanted. So, and it all came down from, the fact that this like damsel in distress where she couldn't really, as strong as she was, Peter was still physically, able to be stronger than her.
Yeah. And speaking of Peter, their relationship is definitely changing over these last 4 episodes. It's gotten closer, and Peter's definitely started being more into her, falling in love with her. It's a big deal when he says, I'll only sleep with Grigor's wife twice a year. Like, that's it. Like, I'm really in love with her. If it's only, because he does that like daily with her normally. So this is huge. But there was also a lot of different introductions that Peter gave in episode 7. There was the idea box, printing press, vaccine we were talking about. No way around this. Oral sex. He shows that to Catherine, and it really confuses her because she doesn't really understand the heart love thing versus the physical sex and what Peter did for her. And it's just like, so her emotions are everywhere. Peter's emotions are everywhere. It's all over the place there, Kyle.
And then that brings in Leo's. Leo doesn't feel like she feel the same. Yeah, it's just, so it is complicated between, Peter and Catherine. And I think that's what humanizes Peter at the end to make him a likable character, because like Catherine says, he is a weird character. He's a dumb doofus, but it's because he's misguided. I don't know if he's truly that person inside or if it's misguided,
Yeah, so let's see, episodes 9 and 10, that's when the coup really gets going. We have this big team meeting, trying to get everyone, trying to get more people involved. First, they tried getting the man that they force to shave his beard. Peter's laughing at his scars. They're trying to get him involved. He ends up having sex with Marlia, I think, or it's one of the
Marlene
something
or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So they try to get him, and they end up getting him, but they don't get Gorky. Gorky's the guy with the funny looking nipples. And once he says no, and Leo spills the beans, well, we got to kill him. There's no way around this. Like, sorry, Gorky, you got to leave.
It was Mariel.
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 Right. But the body of Gorky makes Peter and everyone a little worried now. They're like, something's going on here. Someone after me, and they have to torture everyone to figure it out. Catherine wasn't on the list, but she puts herself on the list to make it less suspicious. What do you think of these torture scenes, John? I had one that was kind of, because like some of them were like legit torture, and then other ones were kind of like funny Home Alone torture.
Yeah, the fingernails, the one that would get me.
Yeah.
I had a toenail removed, and they didn't get me numbed up properly, and that hurts. That hurts. But the throwing a brick from the ceiling, that was just like, all right. Or sticking your face in a vat of electric eels, like, all right. I don't think in real life that would probably tingle pretty good, but I don't know if it's like causing like the room to go bzz, electricity, like you know what I mean? But Yeah, or just plain old just getting beat up. Like, interesting, I guess. You know.
Yeah, the one we did the brick was like, yeah, that's the Home Alone. Like, yeah, this one would knock you out pretty good here. You'd be dead. But
Yeah.
it was a little funny there, like the way like Peter's like, "Don't you dare throw that thing here," like yelling up at him. But the bearded man, or I guess the unbearded man, goes to attack, and Grigor, his wife, Peter, they all attack back, but Catherine freezes in the moment. The death of him really affects. I already forgot her name again. What was it, Marla?
Mariel.
Really affects her, so much so that she spills pretty much the beans to Archie. Pretty much does everything, which I didn't buy really. Sure, we saw her and the man, have kind of like this on-off relationship, a couple episodes in the series, but for her to just completely like spill everything to the enemy, it was just like, really?
I thought it was believable because despite how loyal she had been to Catherine, she still had Archie. There was still something going on there, and her ultimate goal was never really about Catherine. It was restoring her status.
Yeah,
she was going to flow. Yeah. She was going to flow wherever the situation was going. She just figured Catherine was the easier route because Peter was like, top, Peter was like, it's a no-go. Like it's not going to happen. So Catherine was the one. So when Archie convinced her, you need to switch sides because things are going to get bad, and who wins when the king is involved. And so I think that she took that opportunity, and it was always with her. I always felt suspicious of her because it felt like whichever way the wind was going to blow, she was going to side.
It's kind of like the irony of it is like, Orlo was always talking about, oh, Leo's a spy. And it's like, well, technically the person that did sell you out was the other person that you didn't expect.
Yeah.
But episode 10, the big finale, it's Catherine's birthday. She wants Russia, and she's willing to do the plan today, wants to kill him by end of day. He's expecting a I love you from her at the end of the day. But she wants him. She's so like adamant that she wants him to know it was her that killed her, because it's like other ways they could easily do this, slit throat easy. But no, she wants to make a statement here, which makes it very tricky. And the aunt here finds out the plan as well from Catherine when she does another kind of pregnancy test using the urine and wheat or whatever. I guess that was the old school.
I guess that was a way
here to see if it blooms or whatever. But to me, when we're talking about dumb decisions that Catherine was still making, this was it, where it's like, I was surprised how trusting Catherine was.
Yeah.
Like, immediately, like, she's telling the rest of the team, don't worry about it. I trust her. She seems good.
Yeah.
It's like, do you not remember how easily she killed Ivan? Pretty quick and easy on that one.
Yeah, that was the one to me that didn't seem believable. Like, all of a sudden, she's going to flip-flop when Archie's possibly putting the idea of power in her hands, So that one for me was a little hard because I would picture her fighting back either for herself or for Peter's sake. But
And speaking of Peter, getting very jealous of Leo, pretty much goes to kill him, but after 2 accidental shots, it doesn't look like an accident anymore. So I thought that scene was just hilarious. And it kind of actually works out for Peter because he uses Leo as a kind of like a chip to not get killed by Catherine. He writes this letter that Leo wrote.
Yeah, this is like 13-year-old boy, like 7th grade middle school.
Yeah. It was so vulgar. It was so untruthful. It was like praising Peter. And it's just like, oh my God, you really, it's just, I don't remember what it said exactly, but it's just like, yeah, I went away either to this place or this place. Don't worry about it. I don't know. But man, Peter, he'll take care of you. He's great. Peter's just so great. It's just like, come on.
Yeah.
But she pretty much agrees to it all. Peter backs away from it. He's like, okay, you call off the coup. You get Leo. Don't worry about it. Of course, he's going to back away from that deal. So then she ends up meeting with Leo. Kind of says this goodbye to him. Leo has the line, "My fate was always you, and yours was always Russia." And looks like the coup's back on. Doesn't look good for Leo, but we're back in action, and then we cut to black. That's it for season 1. And man, yeah, as it goes back to what we were saying, John, I want the next episode. I want the next one. They got me there.
I really. Sorry, John. I didn't mean to cut you off. You were going to say something, but
no.
I really think we needed more of a resolution. I think rather than a cliffhanger. I mean, I know the cliffhanger gets you wanting more, but man, I really, we're all building to this thing, and you're not going to have the resolution in that first season.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the whole thing, and no resolution in that first season. Are you serious?
Yeah, to me, I won't spoil Homeland. I won't. But to me, there was something that happens at the end of season 1, which, whoa, that was a moment. And then I remember the first 3 or 4 episodes of season 2. It was like all this like kind of cat and mouse type stuff. And it's just, oh my God, it was so exciting, those first 3. And then once it happened, it's like, well, now what's the rest of the season?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm worried about here, where it's like, this first episode, oh boy, it's going to be big. And then what's the rest of the season?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm worried about. That's what I'm worried about when it comes to season 2.
Yeah.
But yeah. I don't know. I mean, at this point, definitely check out the premiere. That's for sure.
For sure.
You guys going to keep going with season 2, you think?
I got to be reminded, I think. Like I said,
I will.
my attention is here now. I don't know if it'll be here when it comes out. You know, that's the issue. I gotta remember.
Yeah, I have a couple of little details I'll run through, and we can wrap things up on the great. But I love the yelling from Peter of door to like open the door. It reminds me of like What We Do in the Shadows whenever they yell bat just to turn into a bat. It's just like door, and it's, you know, like, and then there was that, and then one of the other funny moments to me was they go to they want to behead the Swedish ambassador, and at one point, you know, Peter sees the person who's going to do it, and he's like kind of giving him the stop sign. Nope. But that's also a sign to behead. So it's just like, no, wait, no, wrong. No. So that, and then the last one, I because we've talked about it in the other 2 installments of this, they brought up the horse again.
Yeah, it's going to be a running joke from here on out. It's a running joke.
And I love, because so Leo drew all these drawings and they printed them with the printing press. And there's a line that Catherine says, you know, telling Leo, hey, don't worry about it. It's okay. He drew it because, quote, nobody will remember. Yep. Of course, like, that's what everyone, at least as of now, I've put that into the world, to our listeners, to you guys. Remember that about Catherine the Great. There you go.
We owe you a debt of gratitude.
You're welcome. That's what I'll be known for. So be it. All right. Well, that is it for the great. That is it for Dual Redundancy tonight. Let's see here. Next week, we got a big one. We got a big show coming to you. It's the end of March. So it's the end of our March Madness film franchise bracket. We're going to have the big reveal show. You can now vote in the final round. We are down to our final 2. Very, very surprised about the final 2. Indiana Jones versus Star Wars. Never would have thought, but here we are. So definitely vote to see which franchise you want. You can find the link on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, in the show notes for this episode. Next week, we'll do the big reveal. We'll talk about all the rounds, film franchises, everything like that. And then if all goes according to plan, the following week, we'll have, hopefully, the good, the bad, and the watchable on to predict the Oscars. So 2 big shows coming at you. Hopefully you got enough of that relaxation last week with our week off, because we got a lot of things coming up in April. Make sure you never miss an episode by going to YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, the blog, dualredundancy.com. And, of course, we're live Tuesday nights on Twitch, twitch.tv/dualredundancy. Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern. I got to thank both of you guys for joining me tonight. John directing the show. Kyle, doing it. New mic, new location.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Do I sound sexy?
Am I the sexiest bald man
Oh,
alive?
let's see. We just left. We left. Everyone left the chat. All right. Well, on that note, I'm David Allen.
John Berwick.
And I'm Kyle Bridger.
And that's all we got for Dual Redundancy. Goodbye, everybody.